you listening to me now, but if you want to actually get the property, what's that first thing you would actually do? I like to hear from the audience. Anybody? Nobody. Okay. So why are we few? Is the link giving anybody problem?
Probably because of the link you sent at first. It's like
Okay.
I was also confused about it.
The link. Okay, let me forward the link to the group again before I continue regardless. Audience. So now we're fully here. So now the first thing you need to know about owning, purchasing a property, the first thing you need to know is for you to actually use a trusted realtor. Why do you need to use a trusted realtor? To be honest with you, actually, you actually need a realtor in order to make a purchase of property. That is, if you do not have, do anybody want to say anything? Okay, that's you if let's say for instance some people actually have family relations that are into the real estate business and real estate development and things like that. But then if you do not have any of such, you are to use a trusted realtor. And some people actually believe that if I if I skip the hurdle of not using a realtor, I would actually save money. I would save money, and any commission that the realtor wants to collect from me would actually be, should I say, evaded or avoided. You see, but that is a very, very poor mentality and a very wrong mentality for people who are actually seeking to purchase a property. You see, if you use a trusted realtor, the realtor actually bears the burden of going out to make research for you. Bears the burden of going out to actually clarify the title on a land. When I say title on a land, what do I mean? I mean if the land is going to be a certificate of occupancy, that's a C of O. If the land is going to be governor's consent. Okay, for your information, the certificate of occupancy is the biggest, like the largest title in Nigeria, so to say, because the certificate of occupancy um, is like a document that shows that okay, you are now a tenant under the governor. The governor is the owner of all lands in Nigeria, in each state. I'll take that again. Governors are owners of each land in of all lands, sorry, in every state of the federation. I'm talking about Nigeria now. So no land actually belongs to anybody anymore as regards the Land Use Act of 1978. So it vested power on the governor to be the person who holds the land in trust for the citizens. Are you there? So we're not talking about land title, but I'm just trying to make you understand what land title actually is. You see, so land title can also be in the form of governance consent, can also be in the form of excision and the likes. So the realtor would actually go further to say, because when all the developers put the property out there and say, okay, this property is for sale, and title on this property is excision. That's the popular one. So then we'll go as far as saying excision in process or excision in progress. That is, they're trying to say that okay, it's coming. The time will come when excision will be fully granted to this property. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So that's the popular one that those developers put out there. So when a person put out excision for you as the title on a land, you as a buyer, you go.
Hold on. Okay, thank you.
Hello? Okay, so you as a buyer now decide that you want to make purchase of that property. Now you just saw excision. You don't know if the excision is actually real, if the excision is, because you have so many developers out there that put out false plan number, false survey documents. They just put out, some of them even put out survey documents that are real, but are not for that site in particular. So that's why you actually need a trusted broker to contact a good surveyor who would now make the verification of such title, because any prudent realtor would not actually sell a property that do not have a clear title. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So the first step you need to know about buying the property is to use a trusted realtor. I says the seller, not the buyer. Okay, now the first point here is the seller, not the buyer, pays a listing agent. Now, when I say listing agent, what do I mean? I mean a listing agent is someone who sells for the developers or the seller, someone who puts out the listing out there for sale. An agent who puts out the listing.
Oh, what is calling you?
I'm sorry, please, can you mute yourself? Okay, so now, so
you can't wait the Monday.
Trusted.
She's just fine. That's all. She's from Australia. Because she's fine. What is all that? Because she.
Okay, so sorry about that. So, a listing agent now. So when you see a listing agent who is asking you for commission, are you there? When you see a listing agent who's asking you for commission or for you to pay commission, you're not expected to pay commission to a listing agent. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. You only pay commission to a savvy realtor who you employed on your own. You pay commission to someone who you walk into their office and say, okay, I need you to get a property for me. This is my description. And the person now actually goes out there, contacts, okay, this, make various, take necessary steps for you. That is the person who you actually pay, not a listing agent who you found online on all those property listing websites. And those ones, you actually don't pay them anything. The sellers are the ones who are expected to pay them. And also any agent who asks you, who requires of you to pay directly into your account the purchase price of the property. That's realtor or agent is fraud. Make sure you avoid such scenarios. Now, okay, I've explained point 2, which is you're not saving money by not using a realtor, and also point 3, which is talking about engaging the services of the savvy realtor. So now, the next one I would like to talk about is for you to have in mind.
Sorry, can I ask?
Yeah, there's actually a time for. Okay,
Okay.
You ask.
No, I think you should go on. So have together.
Okay, so I want you to have in mind that you would spend more than the purchase price when you plan to buy a property. When you plan to purchase a property, I don't want any purchaser of property to think that, okay, I have 50 million naira. I have 50 million naira. So I want to purchase property for 50 million naira. That is wrong, very wrong. Have it in mind that when you want to have a budget, for purchasing a property, you would definitely have a budget for the purchase price, You definitely have a budget for the development fees. You have a budget for legal fees. Talking about when you're processing your deed of assignment, you have to pay the lawyers. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So those are those things that is if you even want to purchase just the land. You know, when you want to purchase a house, you know, some houses are fully finished, some houses are not finished, fully finished, and those ones that are fully finished, you still have to furnish, you know. I don't know what time you plan to furnish, probably in the future, but you will definitely need to pay development fees and estate fees, taxes, service charges, all those. You can't just say I want to purchase a property and that will be the end. It's not like purchasing a commodity, you know. Like when you walk into the market and you want to be like, okay, I want to purchase this bread. All you just need to do is just put down the money for that bread. But for the housing, you know, not just the purchase price, you see. But like once you want to make purchase for a property, you see, you have to see some of those property development firms have FAQ, that is frequently asked questions, and they also have, yes, in the FAQ, that's where it's basically in. You have to go through the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, you have to see what other additional fees, and you have to also ask, because when you just see, oh, this house is 15 million now, or 15 million, it does not stop there. It goes on from there. So, like I said, acquisition fees, development fees, and okay, cost of insurance for the property that you plan to insure. So now, the next one, buy a house you can afford. So now, okay, it still goes in line with what I just previously explained to us, which is you should be comfortable with paying the set price and other additional charges which would come to owning a house. So not just having in mind that, okay, you have to buy a house you can afford it. Like you make sure you purchase a house you can afford. Like how do I put it now? So okay, we have more things before that I'd like to share with you. Let me go to the fourth reason. The first thing you need to know, sorry. So now there is always room for negotiation. Yes, if you want to purchase a property, you know, you see that you know what I'm discussing with you now is 10 important things you need to know. Like so many people are ignorant about these things. That's why I'm trying to spread this information to people. Because some people feel that okay, I'm scared. Or let's talk about first time buyers now. First time buyers will be like, okay, purchase price. Are you sure they used to negotiate for housing? Like, you know, when they put it out there, Camberwell advantage, 45 million naira 2 bedroom. And I'll be like, that is the fixed price. That is not always true. You see, there's always room for negotiation. When you walk into I'm just talking for the benefit of people who want to purchase property. So when you walk into when you talk to the realtor or the development company, you can go straight to the development company if you want, but it does not save you. It does not save you. It's actually worse off because it doesn't even save you any money because those development companies do not even want to. The price is the price. That purchase price, you see, the developers know how they're going to take care of the realtor. They are not going to beat it down unless you have. It's even better when you speak to the realtor because sometimes those realtors have close relationship with the developers. They know how to persuade. They know how to get their ways. Talking about negotiation and everything, and also you can also negotiate with developers too, as the case may be. So there's always room for negotiation when it comes to purchasing a property. It does not necessarily have to be what you see there that you actually pay for. You know, the contract is not set until final acceptance. Like the contract when you agree, when you put out the price to the developers that this is what I can actually afford. This is how I want you guys to discount for me. This is how then if the developer accepts, then the contract is made. So now let's go to the fifth one. Yes, very important points that I want everybody to know. Very, very important. See, look for water-related problems when you want to buy a house. So many people are really suffering because of this reason. You see, some people purchase a house in dry season. Of course, it's not bad to actually purchase a house in dry season. If you're very certain about the drainage and everything. I would personally advise that you purchase a house, a property during the rainy season, because you see, when it comes to water problems, water related problems, I don't just talk about flooding. You see, I don't talk about flooding because even a house on its own may not even have any, may not even have so much water related problems. The compound itself may not be flooded, but the surrounding, when you want to come out of the compound, because some compounds are some premises, sorry, and some houses are built taking the level from the express. Some people build, they construct houses taking level from the express, and they lift the entire compound or the entire premises. That way, the premises will not be flooded, but then the surrounding environment is going to flood. Another what I get from you I'll talk about is even if the surrounding is not flooded, you see leakages from the roof, seepage from the decking and or the suspended or the ceiling, the concrete slab. Yes, the concrete slab. So all those water related problems when you are staying in an apartment that has the toilet and you look upward, there's a toilet upward, and you start seeing seepages, water dripping. Those are water related problems, not just flooding. So you have to look for water related problems, not just talking about buying housing in rainy season. So that is a water related problem. That is what I was talking about. I was trying to pass across to people when I said water related problems. Okay, so questions. I'd like to take questions if I want.
Okay, yeah, I had a question on the first slide about trusted realtor. So you kept hammering on the word trusted. So what makes a trusted realtor?
What makes a realtor to be trusted? Yes, you have to, I'm actually going back, we're still going ahead to that. You see, when you say a realtor is trusted, it can come from different angles. A trusted realtor, you have to make background check, not just for the company, the realtor themselves. When you go online, or if you know someone personally, or you go online to search for realtors or for property listing, let's say for example property listing, because most people don't actually go online to search for realtors because you want to purchase a property now, you just say 5-bedroom for sale in social area, start looking through this, because so many people are fraudulent out there. There are people that are all these cyber crime people, they go online, they post listings, they pay for subscriptions, they make their listing go to the top, and people still fall victim for them of them. You see, now when you go to those listing websites, you see those realtors. So you see the people that are actually handling those listings. They publish their names. They publish the companies that are handling those listings. So it is from there you have to pick up that name and go and make your background check. Background check, is the person registered? Yes, is the person registered? That's the important thing. Is the person registered? Registration is the key. Is the person a quack? Because even when you go to Nigeria Property Center, for instance, you always see there's a badge, verified agent. Nigeria Property Center has told you that this person is verified because they have gone through certain background check of that agent before they can actually assign a badge of verified agent. Because when you speak to those agents, when you go on to check for them, you have to now again another part of trusted realtor. This first part of trusted realtor, checking if the person is actually fraud, does the person have any background information, is the person registered. You check, for instance, now we have CAC, the company, is the company registered on that CAC. Go to CAC website, you search out the company, are they registered? Are they registered? Yes, they're registered, fine, go ahead. If you see, some people actually have realtors that they ask them for their, what do you call it, international passport and national ID card, just to show a form of identity. Because if you don't have any of those and you still go ahead, even if you use the person in physical, that's another part of trusted realtor. Another part of trusted realtor is if the person has made their due diligence to actually check the property. If that's why I'm saying use a realtor instead of a development company. Because some development companies are very wicked. There are so many development companies out there that are not even trusted enough. You see, not even trusted realtor. Use a trusted realtor, but a trusted development company. Some development companies are just out there. They will sell you land and bad title straight, and they will not. And you will go to court, and you will not win. Why? Because of habit and talk. You have to have the due diligence to check the property first. As a buyer, they have placed the burden on you to go and check that, okay, this is the property I'm going to buy. You did not check, so how come you're not finding out? Now you don't want to sue them. You will not win the case, to be honest. So I don't know if I've answered the question. What was it else?
Yes, you have. But it's just interesting because, for example, I see a property that is quite cheap or the rates are quite good, and I want to purchase it like quickly so that other people don't get it. So I still have to go through all of these processes.
Quickly.
Don't you think like the time that it consumes a lot of time and I might actually miss this opportunity? Or is it possible for me to have somebody that I could always call, like a trusted realtor?
Of course, that's part of it. That's part of someone you can always call and say, okay, I need you to do a background check on this property. Yes, of course. And you actually have to go to testing ground at Ikeja, so your general office, to actually check to actually run a background check on the property to see if it fits to be purchased. You understand?
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so moving on to, does anybody have any question? Apart from Kenny. So
I'd like to ask again as well. The second slide, where you were talking about additional expenses aside the cost of the property as well. So the additional expenses, are they just documents? Or for example, okay, I have a property that is worth about 10 million. So in your experience, what could be the estimates for additional expenses that I could
additional expenses, 10 million worth of property. Additional expenses should be within the range of 20% of 10 million or 30%, 20% of 10 million. That should be yes, 20% to 30%, 10 million. Let me not exaggerate it. let me stop at 20% because it's true.
Thank you.
Okay, so yes, have options you can compare. That's the sixth thing I want you to understand. Have options you can compare. You see, try not to be penny wise, pound foolish. When you want to purchase a property, you should compare. You see, when you see low priced properties, you now be like, low priced properties, I want to jump into it. You see, when you have low priced properties that have large fees that come with them. When I say large fees, I'm not just talking about the additional documentation fees, and I'm talking about taxes. I'm talking about what expenses am I going to incur on that property that would now make it to be, what expenses am I going to put on that property that will make it to be in a good state? Because sometimes some low price properties are in bad states, that you have to now expend your own money to now, make it to be in a better state. So you have to be very, very careful when you want to purchase a property, because you see that, okay, I have high price property, I have low price property, I think I should, most people will just jump into the low price property. But to be honest with you, the high price property may be worthwhile in the long run, maybe, you see. So that is just what I was trying to say. You have to have comparisons when you want to go into the purchase of real property. Now the next slide. So now, when you want to purchase a new property, it is not advisable to purchase a property for your current life situation. Now, the purchase of real property is capital intensive. Talking about, okay, let's say the reason why you're purchasing a property. Is it for investment purpose? Okay, fine. If it's for investment purpose, cool. You need to make more money. You need to make rental income. But if your purchase of property is to reside in it, I want to stay in the property, you have to make consideration for what the future holds. The property market is very, very illiquid. It's not easy to liquidate. Like you can't just convert a house into cash immediately. You can't sell it. You have to go through depending on the kind of property. So property are hot in the market. Sometimes sell easily. So if the property is not that kind of property, you may end up having cash that you need to make another new purchase of property, because purchase of property is capital intensive. It's huge. The money that you have to use to purchase property is huge. So that's why you have to make contribution for the future life situation. Are you going to be married? Are you currently married? Do you have plans do you understand, to give birth to so many kids? So that is just what I'm just trying to just an addition. Current life situation, you have to take that into consideration, and future, do not buy for your current life situation. Take into consideration for the future life. Okay, so now the eighth one, which talks about verifying your listing information. You have to verify your listing information. You have to go for site inspection. You have to verify the title document. You have to research on the developers, like what I said earlier. You have to verify all information in the listing and ask questions. Very, very important. You have to ask, who are the developers of this property? If the developer of the property is one normal person that doesn't arrange the bricks together, is the integrity of the building worth it? Is the building going to collapse tomorrow? Because this is life we're talking about. Because if you go ahead and say, okay, developers, what are their past developments? What have they done in the past? Has any of their projects collapsed? If you don't have information like this, you may be doing yourself with the service if something bad happens in the future. See? So you have to verify the title. Like I said, for Nigeria, you go ahead to testing ground, so your general's office at Ikeja, or you pay someone who knows about the verification of title, because so many companies do it. So many registered companies, NISB firms, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveying and Valuation firms, they do it. So, and they are actually the best people to actually turn to for this kind of issues. So go for site inspection. So because, well, why I said NISB are the best people to turn to, because these people have their badge at stake. Because if you say, I asked this valuer to actually go ahead to make this verification for me, and they did it wrong, that person can lose his or her badge. But a normal freelance person that just goes and nobody is going to query him, you see. So that's why I'm just trying to give you hints of who you should actually meet and speak to. So now go for site inspection. You go for site inspection, not just you make sure you go for site inspection before you make purchase. Because if you don't purchase a property before, if you don't go for site inspection, purchase a property, you can end up purchasing a property that is not even in existence. You see, the property may not even exist. You can end up buying a property that has geolocation as an expressway, just like a comedy I watched earlier this year. See, so you have to go for site inspection before and after. So after the purchase of after the purchase, before you proceed and after final payments. Okay, so now the ninth reason, do not forget to do a final walkthrough in the case where you're buying a house. So in the case where you're buying a house, make sure you do a final walkthrough. Okay, when I came for the first inspection, these were the things that I saw in place, I saw in position. Now I'm actually going to make I've made the purchase. I've made the purchase. So everything fine. are they in being? Because if you purchase a property that all those people that are not that don't have a particular office where they are to sit and actually attend to you, it might become difficult to contact those kind of people. So you have to now go through a final walkthrough, see if the door handles are working and every other thing in the property. So that's the ninth reason. So the last one here is take your time. So when Kenneth was saying you're trying to see, if you want to purchase the property, take your time. No matter how it is, do not rush. It's not always advisable to rush. It's capital intensive. Even if the deal is so attractive that, hey, so many people are going to be in the market, they're going to actually rush to purchase this deal. Take your time because you might end up regretting. See, there are so many things that you have to research on. You have to do the area analysis, the place that the property is in. Very good deals, very, very attractive. Do not rush into it. Just, even if you're taking your time, you can still, take your time with the necessary steps that you have to take. Okay, so that's that about that. You have to stay focused from the beginning, from the journey, the end. So finally, question and answer again. Is there any questions from the last few slides we've taken? So with that in play, I want to thank each and every one of you here present for attending this meeting. And yes, Surveyor Samuel actually would have made it today, but he's actually on the highway currently. That was why I was not able to make it. But he was here last time, so sorry about that. So thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, and we're here.
Thank you for having us.
You are welcome. Nobody has any questions. Okay, bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.